1 minute, sir. Sit it.
Om Parthay Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayana Swayam Vyasena Pratitam Puranam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Darshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatva Manusantata Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatveshini. There are two more types of karma.
No, let us pass. Let us not read.
We will start.
Correct. Yeah, start. Yeah.
There are two more types of karma we should know about. One is Nisiddha karma.
Nisiddha karma.
Nisiddha
karma
karma.
means
Nishidha karma.
Nisiddha, yes.
Nishidha karma, an action that we are not supposed to do and which is therefore prohibited. We are not supposed to harm any being and therefore it is said, Himsam na kuryat.
Samna kuryat.
Himsam na kuryat. Do not hurt. These actions are prohibited because they produce papa. And Satra being our well-wisher, Hitaishi
means gives Hita Upadesam, what is good for us, what is desirable for us. Yeah.
It has to tell us this. The kami karmas are not prohibited. They can produce desirable results for you, but those results will be limited in nature. Then we have a fourth type of karma, a prayaschitta karma, which you do as an antidote for wrong actions done in the past. This completely absolves you from the result, karma phala, of those actions. There is also vihita, enjoined in the Vedas. If what you want, your purushartha, is very clear, then you will naturally drop kami karma and perform only nitya naimittika karmas. This is the renunciation, nyasa. What is
nyasa? See, how can you say it is nyasa? Nitya naimittika karma you are doing, and how can you call it renunciation? Because you are doing it only for antakarna shuddhi, not for any phala. So, only for antakarna shuddhi means it is not considered a karma. So, it is called nyasa. Nyasa means renunciation. Yeah.
What is sannyasa? Sannyasa, however, is the giving up of even the nitya naimittika karmas. Now, karma is not something that can be given up, like chocolate. You can only stop doing it. And when you do, that can be laziness or adharma, because if what is to be done is not done, it creates problems, especially in a society which is based on duties. It is something like a piston saying, I am not going to work today. If the piston were to stop working, the whole engine will malfunction. Similarly, if the duty enjoined in a society in which everybody is supposed to perform is not done, the whole society comes to a standstill or becomes a mess. Therefore, we have to say here that sannyasa is the giving up of nitya naimittika karma danda in accordance with the vidhi. First, you have to go to a teacher with clarity about what you want, with purushartha nishchaya. You must know exactly what is time bound, anitya, and have a dispassion towards that, vairagya. Then he must have a love for what is not time bound, nitya, and want only knowledge of that, nothing else. If he goes to a teacher and lives with him for some time, until he understands what is going on, the teacher gives him sannyasa. Until then, he is performing karmas. But when he takes sannyasa, he releases himself from all obligatory duties by a ritual enjoined in the Shastra. This is sannyasa. In a duty-based society, this is not an ordinary thing. A ritual is performed whereby you absolve yourself from playing all roles and performing all duties. Society accepts that. The Vedas also accept it.
Swamiji, this nyasa when we do japa, we have that nyasa. That's
Yeah.
a different meaning, that nyasa.
No, actually, if you really look at seriously, in the sense, etymologically, nyasa means what? Doing everything and putting everything in its place.
Oh.
Okay, the same way, this giving up also is basically because you are not a doer. The reality is, you are not a doer. Everything happens. You are playing only your role. Nimitta matram bhava. Savyasachi. So, you are not really doing anything. We assume that we are doing anything. That is a mistake. That is a misidentification. So, nyasa, sannyasa is the nyayasya nitya sannyasi is jnanam. So that is the ultimate reality. We think that that is a problem. Like even in computer programming, we think that the calculator does 1 plus 2 equal to 3 means computer calculates. No, it doesn't calculate. The input is given, the output is given, the process is given. You only trigger, that's all. You just put 1 plus 2. Just put the, what do you call it? Put the, you touch the buttons. But everything else is given already. Likewise, in life, everything is given. We think that we are doing. We are not doing anything. Everything is given. You just push the button, that's all. So, nyasa is our reality. Sannyasa is our reality. That is why it is called Sarva Karma Sannyasa is the reality. But we, till the time we don't understand, we think that we are doing. If you don't do, like here what he says, if you don't do the right thing, you will do the wrong thing. That is why duties are given.
No, I'm
So
asking
that
about.
you keep doing the right things.
I'm asking about this Anganyasam, Karanyasam. They say jabam.
Yeah, everything is what Anganyasam, Karanyasam is what is to be done on that particular puja. Nyasa means doing things as is basis.
Public.
That is how it is. That is the ultimate meaning. That is why apparently in superficially looking, it will look like how can nyasa and sannyasa can be the same. The nyasa that is being talked about here, renunciation, and the nyasa you are doing in puja, how can it be the same? Because there you are doing.
Yes.
That is the problem. The problem is we think we are doing.
Oh, okay.
So since you think that you are a doer, Veda says, okay, do. Till the time you understand, he doesn't want you to get misled. So he keeps you living a sane life. Okay, do this, do this. You want this, no? Swarga kamaha ijeta. If you want Swarga, do this. If you want Putra, do this. If you want rain, do this. If you want Punya Palam, you do this. So all Veda 99% of the Veda is, they keep on telling you, enjoined duties. Because 99% of the society think that we are doing. I am the Karta. So it goes along with you and gives you all karmas, all nyasas. But this nyasa which is being talked about comes out of understanding that everything is in its place. You just kartrutvam, bhavam, you have to give up. And for that there is a vidhi, because everything else, everyone else in the society is doing. If you don't do and sit tight, then you will be misleading people. You do, you are not doing because you have understood. But that only you know. How others will know? They will think you are lazy. You are not contributing. Why should I feed you? You will sit tight in the home and we have to cook and give you or what? Why should they? That will be the thinking. So you don't disturb buddhi bedam na janaye. So if you are very clear, you have to, by vidhivat, you have to take sannyasa. You have to keep yourself off and commit yourself to contemplative living by understanding. That is what sannyasa is all about. That is what is explained. And in case, even though you understand as karma, that is also going to be discussed as jnana karma sannyasa. By understanding, you understood. But still, as long as you are in the society, you have to be doing what is to be done. Just keep doing. What do you lose? You don't lose anything. As long as you are a brahmachari, you keep doing brahmachari, to go to the temple, do guru seva, work in the ashram, do that. If you are a grahastha in the family, you have no agenda, give everything to them. Whatever they want, you give. You give love, you give whatever money you have, you don't have anything. You just be like that. Or else, and you have to be naturally, you have to be doing certain things. You have to take them to marriage, take them to parties and all that. And you don't want to do that, go away. Don't keep sitting there and disturbing them. So all this, everything is to put things in their place, that's all. That is nyasa, that is sannyasa. So we have to understand the implication. It's a beautiful question what you have asked. Nyasa is there. The nyasa and sannyasa, there is the ultimate meaning is the same. But that rudimentary meaning, what they call rudi, is different. So in Vedanta, rudi does not work. You have to go for the
nyasa is placing divinity within the body.
Even everything that is lagunyasa, what they say, no, that keep on doing that. Giving divinity means what? You are varchasvi bhuyasam and brahma varchasvi bhuyasam, all are there, already there. It's not that it is not there. Even in lagunyasam of brahma prajanane, brahma tishtadu, all those things, no, it's all there, already there. We think that I am actually in our heart also, Bhagavan is sitting. We think that I am sitting. That's the problem. Antaryami. So if you place the Antaryami properly, then there is nothing, everything is being done. He says, Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana pariyupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. உன்னோட யோகத்தையும் க்ஷேமத்தையும் நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு அவர் சொல்றாரு. இல்ல நான் தான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம். We have read that, no? 9th chapter.
Yes.
Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana pariyupasate. That is the correct understanding. That is correct nyasam. If you do that, then next sentence he says, Yogakshemam vahamyaham. So nyasa is what? Placing things in the correct perspective. Divinity is already there. You think that you are not divine, so you are looking for divine. Divinity is Atma and Brahma are one and the same. Atma, Ishvara, Brahman, all are one and the same means what? Ishvaroham is our reality. Divinity is within. But we know, no, I am not divine. So that is how it is. That is where. That is there. So the ultimate meaning of nyasa and sannyasa are one and the same, but contextually and as you say in puja and all that, nyasa means okay, you are invoking God and putting it in that places, in the puja anga or in the turmeric powder, you say, let Ganesha come in here. Like that, all that. We create all those avahanam, we bring in the God and put them there, and then you have the bhavana, then you get the spirit, then you do the bhavana. So before that, you do all the nyasa. Yeah, that is there. That is the meaning there. The meaning of nyasa there is putting things in that place. And here the ulterior meaning is talked about. Sannyasa meaning the ulterior meaning is everything is in, there is only aham, there is Brahma, Asmi, complete you renounce. That is my understanding. But in the society, if you are going to be there, there is a vidhi, there is for lifestyle. Sannyasa is a lifestyle, there is a vidhi. By ritual, you get yourself away from the society. That is sannyasa. So that is a ritual. So there are different contexts by which lifestyle is talked about, by which understanding is talked about, by vidhi karma is talked about everywhere. All different contexts, the meaning is different. That is why the difference is there.
Swamiji, in Sandhyavandan, while doing Keshava, Narayana, Kesava means touching the chin. Narayana is touching specific body parts while chanting mantras is nyasa. That is what I understood so far.
Yeah, correct. That's true. But that is, in the sense, nyasa means what? Putting, it is not, we think that we are bringing Bhagavan into us. No. Bhagavan is already there. Only acknowledge. When you do that, in the nyasam, you are only acknowledging. It is not that it is not there and you are bringing. No.
Actually, we should think. Actually, like you say, when we acknowledge means we have to think that he is there.
Yes, bhavana. We have to bring him. Yeah.
But we'll only we'll just do it.
There is one saying
mechanically.
Buddha, Bhava, what you call Anvita. Buddha, Bhava, Anvita. One who has got the bhavana, will do the one who does the prayer as the bhavana. That is what is told. That is, so the prayer means bhavana should be there. Otherwise, just it's a ritual.
Everybody.
You have to have the bhavana. Bhavana comes first, then the ritual. Whereas we do,
The ritual.
bhavana is there or not, we don't know really. Because we are mechanical. Basically, one first day maybe bhavana will be there. புண்ணியம் பூனல் போட்டு 10 நாளைக்கு நல்லா ஸ்ரத்தையா பண்ணுவான். Thereafter it becomes mechanical. Just for coffee. அது பண்ணாதான் காஃபினா ஓகே பண்ணிட்டு காஃபி.
Actually, Swamiji, one weekend we had gone to this Sharanalayam, me and Sharda. There, what they do is, the puja itself, they do Rudras, Karanyasam, that Prajane, and there, Panchayatana puja itself, they say Gananam, Tvat, those things as we do in Rudram, they do Panchayatana puja in the Rudram form. They say Rudra, this thing itself, and the only thing is, in between they keep Shivalingam. But you know, all the practices they do, they don't put poo, they don't put anything. They do everything in us like they say, and they.
That is Manasa Puja. It's called Shiva Manasa Puja. Also, is there. Manasa Puja is there. It's very good. Manasa Puja, if you can bring in the bhavana without the form, that is very good. But that is why, Kayena Vacha Manasa. Initially, people who are not having that focus and all that, they have to do Kayena Vacha Manasa. And then once you grow, you are able to have that concentration, meditation, that bhavana, then you can drop, only do the chanting and all that. And then still you can do contemplate, you can just think of Bhagavan and do Shiva Manas Puja, everything in the mind. There is stories also in the Shastra, also there are stories. Somebody some old man built a temple in the mind itself. And who built a temple, and he wanted him to come for the Kumbhabhishekam. He said, no, I have got more urgent work. My devotee has built a temple in the same village, same town. And he says, how come? Without knowing, I am the king, without my knowledge how a temple has been built. Then he tells about this Rishi, and then he goes and builds whatever he is Manasigama or temple built Pandara, the king gets it done, and again invites Bhagavan for a consecration. So, see, it's all to bring in the bhavana. What it means is, the bhavana is the most important thing in this. So, the understanding is the reality. The understanding reality is the most important thing in life. Everything else, form, is only a prop that helps you to develop this understanding. Till the time you develop the understanding, Kayena Vacha Manasa, everything is important. But you should not get stuck there. You should grow. Grow into the form has to lead to the spirit. Can't look at the form and be stuck with it. Because then that itself become an impediment for you to grow. Because you will just throughout your life you will do puja and go away without understanding anything. That doesn't help. That is why I always told before also. You can be born in a temple, you should not die in a temple. You can be born as a Orthodox person, but you should not die in Orthodoxy. You have to grow. The Orthodoxy is only a prop, it's only a structure that helps you to grow. Yeah.
So, another thing in Patanjali Yoga, they say Nyasam. That is, we do here like this.
Yeah.
And while doing it, he wants us to do Ujjayi breath.
Really, even inhalation எனக்கலாம்
Ujjayi breath.
ஜபங்கள் எல்லாமே நம்ம பண்றோமே
It makes sense. Yoga, what is
inhalation,
through the body, they reach the mind, and from the reach of mind, you reach the nadi and all that. It's all physicalizing the spirit. Basically, they are trying to do the physicalizing the spirit. Because through the body only you need to get to the mind. Through the mind you get to the higher up. See, that is what is physicalizing the whole thing. The whole yoga concept is physicalizing the whole thing. Mind also is something very real for them. So when you remove the last thought, then you are silent, then you are one with God. But that is not, if you are going to work for the last thought, then okay, last thought, then what? You are you will be sitting like a stone. In what way it is going to help you, or till the time, suppose you come to get rid of the last thought and you are just sitting silent. How long you can sit? Even if you sit your lifetime like that, what is that life all about? It is like a stone. What you understand out of that? Nothing. You just be like that and go away, that's all. But finally what you have to understand is, in spite of the noise, you are the silent being. Everything else is changing. The changing is Vidya. And that is being what you call the Satta and the Spurti and the connectivity, all the Sat, Chit and intelligence is given by this Atma, the being, which is there, Desa Kala Vastu Parichinnam. That is the understanding. So in spite of the noise, you must be able to be the being. That is understanding. That is Jivan Mukti. That is what we are talking about, because that is reality understanding. So the idea is, at the end of the day, we have to understand the reality. So it is not what you do is important, what you understand is important. Because reality is what? Reality is purely in terms of understanding. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, all the Mahavakyas. Even if you really understand it properly, you don't need to look at even the words. You just look at yourself, as I have been telling all along. You just see what is right now, what are you? You are just the being. You are seeing your mind, you are seeing your body, your limbs, your books, your computer, everything you are seeing. And the seeing is what? The being. Because what you see is other than you. If you are able to see your eyes functioning, your mind functioning, your heart functioning, even the darkness you see, even if you are sitting in the dark, you know that you are in the dark. That means what? Without light also, if you are able to see, what is that light with which you see? That light is the awareness being. And that is Purnam, here and now, because it doesn't have to have limbs. It does not have any time. It does not have any space. So that is the Purnatvam. That is the Ishvara Swarupam. That is what the identity. That is what we are looking at. So we have to focus on that. All this only helps there. Again, we will be completing it now in this section. You will complete that also. You can go through that. Yeah, read further.
How do we know this is sannyasa? The Kavi says so. A Kavi is a person who knows the Shastra, Shastra Jnana, Shastrajna. A wise person who sees things clearly, Dirghadarshi.
Dirghadarshi, yeah.
Dirghadarshi. Some of them understand the non-performance of Kama Karma and Nitya Naimittika Karmas to be sannyasa, known as Vividisha Sannyasa.
Vividisha Sannyasa.
Vividisha Sannyasa. Renunciation of action backed by a desire to know.
No, the Veditum Icha, I was telling, no?
Veditum
Veditum Icha is called backed by a desire to know. That is called Vividisha Sannyasa.
Real sannyasa is a sarva karma sannyasa, which is purely knowledge. It has nothing to do with giving up karma, but is purely in the form of knowledge. I perform no action. This is what we call sarva karma sannyasa. Here, however, sannyasa as a lifestyle is pointed out.
So understanding is Sarva Karma Sannyasa. Sannyasa as a lifestyle is what is being discussed here.
Tyaga is renunciation of the results of all actions. Now, what is Tyaga? Other learned people, Vichakshanas say it is renunciation of the results of all actions, Sarva Karma Pala Tyaga. This rules out Kamya Karma. No one is going to perform a Kamya Karma for the sake of renouncing the Karma Pala. If he does it, it is not a Kamya Karma. I may perform the same karma like Agnihotra or Jyotish Toma, but without expecting a result other than Antakarna Shuddhi. What is Jyotish Toma, Swamiji?
Jyotish Toma is basically a Swarga Kamaha, like that. For going to Swarga, you have to do some separate karma. Like that, different pala, all for afterlife punya. So basically, you can say all are afterlife punya. So you are, it is purely for tourism. Yeah.
Jyotish Toma, but without expecting a result other than Antakarana Shuddhi. This is not looked upon as a result because it is not something other than, it is not something other than myself. In any other result, some obtaining prapti is involved. Punya is acquired and encashed as artha or kama. Rituals do not produce artha and kama directly. Even though I may perform a given ritual in order to get money, The performance of the ritual itself does not immediately produce the result. In
Yeah,
fact,
because you cannot connect, you cannot, as I've been telling you cannot relate. Even if the money comes, it may be because of the punya of some other fellow. He wanted to give charity, so they gave it to you. How do you know that it's because of your karma you got the money? So we really don't know. So just the way, in the sense, Shastra also, okay, if you want to have this, you do this, so that you will be doing something useful, to making an effort to get something. That's how all rituals are. Yeah.
in fact, money in the form of materials is made into ashes in the ritual. But the idea is that out of the ashes will come something unseen, adrishta, which will produce situations that will perhaps help me gain what I want. That is punya, grace. Prayer has this capacity to produce what is adrishta, not visible, but which will accrue to the one who performs the karma and to the one who has the karma performed on his behalf, the yajamana. That will transform. Here, however, all the karmas are performed for the sake of antakarana shuddhi, which is not something other than myself. That has to be accomplished by an action. When the jiva, retaining his individuality, wants to accomplish something connected to himself, then he gains what we call karmapala. This antakarana shuddhi, however, is not a karmapala because the very prayer itself is able to give antakarana shuddhi. In our Shastra, doing a prayer or ritual for antakarana shuddhi because it is not considered a karmapala is called karmapala tyaga. There is no phala kept in view, neither heaven nor artha, security nor any form of kama, pleasure. What is kept in view is moksha, and moksha is yourself.
Yeah.
A karma yogi's punya phala is conducive to his spiritual progress. Although the one who works purely for antakarana shuddhi has already given up all the karma phala, still karma phala will be there. Suppose he performs all his nitya naimita karmas only for antakarana shuddhi and then dies without gaining knowledge, then what will happen to the result of his karmas? Even though he did not want them, the result will be there in the form of spiritual punya. This can give him a situation from where he can get a better start in his pursuit. For everybody except the jnani, karmapala is always there. Even though the karma yogi has karmapala, there is no question of his obtaining a lower birth, adogati. In spite of the fact that in his sanchita karma there are infinite possibilities. Theoretically, even the karma yogi can take any kind of birth. So what is to prevent him from taking a birth as a cockroach or a reptile? The karma done by him as a karma yogi is predominant. In your own store of karmas, certain ones come to the forefront because they have waited for a long time and now have to express themselves in the form of the birth of a given body. But if you have started this kind of a spiritual pursuit following a life of karma yoga and then die without gaining knowledge, these karmas cause all previous karmas to be overlooked completely and come to the forefront. The karmas done as a karma yogi are predominant because they are spiritual. That is why it was said, gaining the worlds created by punya, living there for innumerable years, the one who is not accomplished in yoga is born in the home of the pure and wealthy or in a family of wise yogis. Prapya punyakritan lokan uchitva shashvatihi samaha suchinam
Prapya punyakritan lokan ushitva shashvati samaha suchinam srimatam gehe yoga brishto vijayate atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam. This we have seen. This is chapter we have discussed it also. Very extensive.
Footnote 43, Gita 6.41 to 42.
4142. So this is an assurance given by Bhagavan
41
himself, saying that as long as you are doing karma with the idea of antakarana shuddhi as a karma, your palatyaga, you will be born in all your santi karmas will be kept in abeyance. You will again take a birth which is conducive for this understanding. You will progress. Once you have moved towards north, you will move further towards north only. You are not going to move south. This is a promise basically given so to encourage the student to study and do karmas only for as a karma yogi or karma palatyaga. That is how the study any evolution progress is like this only. It's only common sense that once you are looking for something higher and you do all your actions in line with that, naturally you will move something higher only. Even in study also, as long as you study well, you will move better only. If you You score 50 marks now, if you study well and focus properly, next time you will get 60 marks. Next time 70, like that only. It's how progress is. So that is what is being talked about. It is only a, what you call, it is only a model. Again, it's a model. We really don't know after death what happens and all. It's a model. Model is Bhagavan himself, since the Rishi himself, Vyasa himself has said that this is how Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. We have a Shraddha in that. We have a Shraddha and live a life of Karma Yoga, Karma Palatyaga. That is what is being talked about here.
His mind gets a connection to what he had started before in a previous body. Buddhi Samyogam Labate Purva Dehita, when he continues the journey.
Yeah, right.
This type of punya is different from that which fructifies as artha or kama. That is why astrologers will say you are in a bad period if you are in a situation conducive for a spiritual pursuit. From the material standpoint, it is true. You may be displaced from your home or have no job, but I would say it's a punya kala, a good period for you to learn, to grow. In all other periods, you are just drudging, breathing. If you do not accomplish something worthwhile, I would say the whole period is just a period of survival. But this is the period where you have the luxury to look at yourself. It is a great luxury. Any other thing like a big house, etc. is not a luxury at all. If you have time to look at yourself, that leisure is the greatest luxury that you can have. One is given to this pursuit due to some punya created by certain special. They can be the results of Nitya Naimitya Karma done by a seeker who has not accomplished what he has to accomplish. His prayers have a spiritual content. If what he wants to accomplish is free from artha and kama, it is definitely a spiritual desire. If he wants to change, there is also a spiritual desire. This is not an ordinary desire, but because people do not want to change. They want the whole world to change so that they can be comfortable. But if I want to change myself so that I can be comfortable with myself, there is an urge for a spiritual change. And this urge has to come from somewhere. Why does not everybody have it? It is not driven merely due to mental pain, because not everybody who has mental pain turns spiritual. He can turn to drugs and alcohol or crime or end up in the hospital, or he can be a vagabond. There are hundreds of options. The process of change implies certain pain. Perhaps the painful situations themselves are a part of the whole game plan of change. But the urge to change is born out of Nitya Naimitya karmas that have been performed previously for the sake of Antakarna Shuddhi. Any prayer to change oneself is a spiritual prayer. In Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the steps is to accept a greater power than yourself, and another is to hand over everything to that power. They have sayings like, let go and let God. This is an attitude that involves letting go of your attempt to control situations and letting God decide. Now this is a very difficult thing, for he does not know what God is. This prayer, I would say, is spiritual. It is not for artha or kama, it is for change. It's a real prayer born of a mature heart. And that prayer itself is born of some punya. Therefore, Nitya Naimitya Karma, done purely for Antakarna Shuddhi, is called Tyaga. In this verse, Bhagavan has briefly answered Arjuna's question about the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. Sannyasa is the giving up of all kama karma, and tyaga is the renunciation of the results of all actions. Now there is a contention which is introduced by Bhagavan himself.
Verse 3, two contentions about giving up karma. Tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajnadanattapah karma natyajam iti chapare. Doshavat karma, action which is inherently defective, tyajyam, is to be given up. Iti prahuhu, thus say, eke, some, manishinaha, wise men, aparecha, and others, yajna dana tapah karma, an action which is a ritual, charity or religious discipline, nat tyajyam, should not be given up. Iti, thus say. Some wise men say that action is to be given up, and others say that an action which is a ritual, charity or religious discipline should not be given up. Manishinaha, Shankara says, or learned people who have the vision of Sankhya, which is the knowledge of Atma. Some AK of these wise people say, Prahu, that for the sake of moksha, Karma is to be given up. Tyajyam karma. What kind of karma? Karma that has an inherent defect, doshavat karma. Karma is considered to have a defect, Shankara says, because it is the cause of bondage. This means all karma should be given up and one should take to a life of sannyasa, pursuing only knowledge, jnana. Only then can one get moksha. Bhagavan's vision is that you can either give up all karmas for the sake of moksha or live a life of karma yoga for the sake of moksha. Shankara gives another meaning for doshavat karma. Here the suffix vat has the meaning of like, tulyartha, rather than possession. A dosha is any defect. Just as you would give up anything that is defective, like a piece of fruit that is rotten, for example, similarly you should give up karma. Like how a dosha is to be given up, all karmas must be given up because they are causes for bondage. They say that every karma produces papa and punya and thereby just keeps the wheel of samsara going. You can never get out of this cycle by doing karma, and therefore all types of karma. Real sannyasa, sarva karma sannyasa is not the subject for discussion because the contention is not whether one should become a sarva karma sannyasi for moksha or should one be a karma yogi. This problem does not arise at all because sarva karma sannyasa is knowledge, jnana. It is moksha and therefore that sannyasa is not under discussion. We are only considering here sannyasa as a lifestyle for the purpose of knowing vividisha sannyasa. This and karma yoga are open to choice. That is why in the very beginning, Bhagavan said there are two committed lifestyles for moksha. Either you can give up all the obligatory karmas or you can perform karmas with a proper attitude. Both are means for moksha. This is Bhagavan's and the Shastra's contention. Though sarva karma sannyasa,
both the people do not know. They want to know, so they want to pursue. So it will not jnani or the sarva karma sannyasi is out of this discussion.
Though sarva karma sannyasa is not open for discussion in this context, both karma yoga and sannyasa have to culminate in sarva karma sannyasa, which is nothing but knowing Atma to be akarta and abhokta, not an agent or an enjoyer. Those who have come out of samsara through knowledge are free from the three major desires, putreshana, vitteshana and lokekshana, the desire for progeny, the desire for wealth and the desire for heaven. That is called vidvat sannyasa and is not the sannyasa under discussion here. This discussion
I told,
is,
before beginning itself I have told this
Yeah.
very statement. Yeah.
This discussion is with reference to vividisha sannyasa and karma yoga. Between these two, there is definitely a choice possible. When there are these choices, Bhagavan Krishna says here, we'll stop with that.
We will stop here. This is what he will explain now. Yeah.
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांति। नमः हरि ओम।